Man Designs. It's not a company, but an idea. Companies die, ideas live forever. The idea is to evoke emotion. If we make you feel love, hate, or anything in between, then our job is done.
It's episode 2, baby. New kid on the vlog. Really excited, man. Yes, the idea took flight, and we're finally here, man. And so much so that I don't even think the name New Kid on the Vlog is gonna stick for a very long time, because this is not gonna be new anymore. We are a concept born out of throwing a big zap sign to every gatekeeper in the industry, man. Stuff this whole principle of open up the industry. We're here opening it up for ourselves. So, to get straight into it, the first segment, which is Who's Saying What? The year 2019, have been hearing quite a couple of concepts, whether you look at parliament, whether you look at what people are speaking about in the corporate environment, and that's the fourth industrial revolution. Now, I'm not trying to suggest that the viewers need this information to be dumbed down a bit for them, but I think everyone kind of must look at how they would relate to the fourth industrial revolution and what it means to them. So we're here today sussing out and, dissecting this concept from the perspective of a layman who does not know what the fourth industrial revolution entails in their own context. So quite recently, just to bring you to light on what gave birth to this idea, quite recently, MultiChoice retrenched about 2,000 odd people. And the idea was that we're cutting down. We're cutting down on costs. And obviously, if you're a business and you're cutting down costs, the one major cost you're probably going to cut is labor. So a couple of people lost their jobs, unfortunately. And for me, it was a very odd idea to think that the one platform that is monopolizing everything television has to cut down. If I was, which I am, a layman, I'd probably think MultiChoice would be the one industry or the one corporate that would be hiring more people, right? And when I looked at it, for me, it meant they are probably experiencing troubles when it comes to competing with your Showmax, your Netflix, and all of your streaming platforms. And I sat back and I said, that is the work of the fourth industrial revolution. And the one mistake that they probably did is to not future-proof the platform, which is MultiChoice, to be ready for that fourth industrial revolution, which resulted in a massive, massive, massive job loss, right? And I want us to kind of, take a step back and put it in context as to, now you as an individual, right? What is it that, you're going to do to kind of future-proof your own career or self in this fourth industrial revolution? Right. So there's a guy, an oak, who actually hosted a conference. His name was Dr. Anton, and he spoke a lot about this whole fourth industrial revolution and what we can do in order to future-proof our own careers for us to be ready for this fourth industrial revolution. And he said, in the next 10, 15 years, if you're not coding, you're probably going to find yourself without a job, right? And let me explain why. I work in the insurance business, and for me, we're experiencing this whole fourth industrial revolution through small things. Remember last week we spoke about, we're going to make it a point that everyone is aware of the apps that could make life easier without having to break your pocket. And what Outsurance has done is that they've also kind of, taken a step ahead and said, we're going to release an app where you can put in a claim for insurance, or even get a quote on insurance, or even chop and change your insurance. And, which kind of reminded me as a person about the whole MultiChoice saga and the fact that this fourth industrial revolution is not going to be friendly to people who aren't future-proofing their career. The people that are going to have jobs in future are the people who can administer all of these apps, right? And deal with this artificial intelligence by being the ones that are behind the scenes when it comes to, administration of the codes that actually, pull up people's risk profiles and get them insurance quotes and pay out their claims without anyone even making contact. I had this conversation with my uncle, and he's in auditing. I said to him, with everything that's happening, what's going to happen is that there's going to be a scarcity of hard cash that we're using. If you look at it, people are walking around with these little, what do you call these devices? These little speed points that you can, fit into your wallet and someone can quickly pay you. So there's going to be an absence of cash. And what's that going to do for the auditing industry is that we're not going to need someone to physically go and ask for a business's books, but we're going to have a software that's going to analyze the numbers for you and tell you that, you're kind of cutting things short when it comes to your money that you're paying SARS or whatever. And there's a bit of some flaws when it comes to your financial books. So everyone's job is at stake when it comes to this whole idea of the fourth industrial revolution. So an advice that the new kid in the vlog has for you is that you should start learning how to code. Start learning to be the people that are behind the administration of the apps that are going to be ruling the future. And that is who's saying what.
Got problems, I know. Yeah, I know.
New Kid on the Vlog, episode 2, the second segment, and we are happy, man, to be here. Like I did mention, I cannot express to no decimal point how excited I am about this topic that we're going to talk about. And this one is Let Your Cash Act, where we can look at money-savvy ways to participate in trends. Right? So we want everyone to be able to do the stuff that's currently popular and not feel that because your bank balance isn't all the way up there, you can't do certain things. So because we are vlogging, we're going to talk exactly about that and how people can participate in vlogging. Since it is something that's gaining a lot of traction and a lot of popularity, all in the idea again of throwing a zap sign in the face of gatekeeping. So vlogging isn't all that expensive, guys. This is something that I've had to experience after I'd been knocking on doors. I remember this other time, a friend of mine, Tobani Mseleni, may his soul rest in peace, him and I went for an audition. I think it was in Newtown some time back. We'd been knocking on doors trying to make this industry thing happen, and it just wasn't happening. And for me, my first experience with gatekeeping was when, in the same line that we stood in to go and audition, there were big names, about Kayagazi, of course, Tobani was there, Pila, Madlingozi was there, a lot of many other industry names, Luto John, and there'd been a production that was spearheaded by Ukuku Zuma, if I can recall correctly, as well as Udumandlov. So we're all standing in line, getting ready for the audition. We've got our little scripts and we're practicing and prepping. And Dumandlov rocks up, for us, we anticipated that he was going to call the next couple of people who were going to, go into the audition room, which wasn't his job, right? But he rocks up and he starts picking all these big industry names. Kayagas, Pila, Tuban, Zanab. They rock up, they go in, audition, and he comes back out and he announces to everyone that, we're taking lunch. And it's like, what? What is going on? People stood in line. I didn't have it in me to come back the next day. Didn't make it inside the audition room. But, having interacted, if you've been to an audition, you would know what it's like to be, in the presence of young talent and hungry people and interacting with them. I came across some explosive talent, which I think by virtue of, that odd thing that happened, a lot of people were cut off, right? So we're here today to kind of say we're tired of such, right? Because for me, it was outright gatekeeping in the literal and figurative sense, because he literally stood at the door and called out all of the names that he wanted to audition at the time. So we're here, and those are some of the ideas that gave birth to New Kid in the Vlog. Right. And we want to talk to all of the people that would like to find themselves with a setup like this one and how to actually make it happen. Right. This is right. We want to talk about the equipment. Remember, this is the part of the show where we say let your cash act. Right. So the equipment that we're using, this is a Dixon mic, and it's a condenser mic. It's very reasonable. You won't find it for more than about $600-700, right? And if you notice, just beyond the MacBook on my left, we've got a Nikon camera, pretty standard camera as well. You're looking to part ways with in this latter day. I think I checked quite recently, not more than $2,000. And let's be honest with each other. Over time, we kind of, as the youth, blow far more money than what these two things can cost. And then we looked at some softwares that we can make use of when it comes to vlogging. And one of them was a very nice recording software for sound. It's called Audacity. And, it's got a very nice basic interface. Any, regular Joe can make use of it. You don't need to be, a techno guy to make use of that. And we've also got another software which is available online and on these downloading sites. It's called Final Cut. Yeah, Final Cut Pro. Not Pro, just Final Cut. It is absolutely free. Also has a very, very basic interface, and you can make use of it even though you are not someone who is all that well vested when it comes to these apps for recording and editing visuals, right? So we encourage everyone who wants to make this dream of theirs alive, because if you look at anyone who's ever done a vlog, right, they quite often, when the vlog catches traction and is popular enough, they find themselves with sponsors, they find themselves on television networks, and the attention follows them because they've now displayed their talent outside of the confines of the industry. And the nice thing about vlogging is that you're not influenced. No one is captured. No one's opinions are diluted. You say what you want to say when you want to say it, the exact same way you would have said it if you were talking to a buddy of yours. And that has been Let Your Cash Act. Yes. The final part of the show for this week. And I'm really excited because already we're switching things up when it comes to this part of the show. Right? If you remember, this part of the show was called Stop Binging and Start Living. And like I did explain, I like explaining it because I feel like it's very profound. This is a part of the show that's born out of the idea that the youth in South Africa is doing a heck of a lot of drinking indoors and binge drinking, and no one is excited about recreational activities anymore. No one is excited about doing things that, yes, you might have a drink or two while doing them, but things that make you feel like you've achieved something at the end of the day, and not just sitting down and sipping where the only activity is this one. Right. So we decided that this part of the show we will definitely always entertain the recreational activities and the nice places that you can go to in and around your city. But more than anything, we want a bit of an interaction from you guys, right? First of all, start off with subscribing. Subscribe to our channel. The channel is Man Designs, and under Man Designs, the name of the show is New Kid in the Vlog, and you'll find a lot more other shows in future. But for now, the show is New Kid in the Vlog under Man Designs. So with this whole idea, what we would like to push is not a narrative of our own, but we would like to push something that comes from you guys, right? What do you guys do when you're avoiding, binging and starting to live with your mates, and you guys do not feel like just drinking? Do you guys go hiking? What new hiking spots do you know? What hiking clubs do you know in and around Johannesburg? I know I once participated with one. It's done by a very young man in Johannesburg, and it's catching a lot of traction as well. I know they do a lot of trails in Gauteng, and it's called Epic Hikes. I'm sure you might have heard of the guy. His name is Beka. Epic Hikes. I know there's a couple of hiking groups in the Tshwane region as well. And if it's not just hiking, what else do you do? Shooting range, I don't know, zip lining. What is it that you do? Show us and tell us what you go out and do for fun. Because guys, we want to remove this whole philosophy that people must sit indoors and just drink and make stupid decisions, because it does break the balance, which is totally against the second part of our show, which is Let Your Cash Act. And yes, guys, subscribe to Man Designs. This has been our episode of New Kid in the Vlog. Yeah! If all the gorillas in the world were to just magically disappear in some weird gorilla rapture, how long would it take you to realize that all the gorillas in the world are gone? Food for thought, right? Exactly. So no one cares about gorillas, but in the same breath, or in me contextualizing this idea and making it about women and Women's Month, if the media isn't pushing this, women are getting killed, are you constantly thinking about it? And that's what made me kind of